Prepare yourself for the most devastating royal drama that has ever shaken the foundations of Denmark's thousand-year monarchy. King Frederik X, Prince Joachim, and Queen Margrethe II are locked in a bitter family feud that threatens to destroy everything they've built. What you're about to discover will leave you absolutely stunned. The walls of Amalienborg Palace echo with whispers of betrayal, rejection, and heartbreak as Denmark's royal family faces its darkest hour. King Frederik, barely settling into his new role as monarch, has delivered a crushing blow that no one saw coming. Prince Joachim, the exiled younger brother, made what sources describe as a desperate and emotional plea for forgiveness. The response: a stone-cold rejection that has sent shockwaves through European royalty. But this story goes much deeper than a simple brotherly dispute. This is about power, pride, and a mother's impossible choice between her two sons. Queen Margrethe, the woman who ruled Denmark with grace and wisdom for over 50 years, now finds herself in the most painful position imaginable. Should she support her eldest son and newly crowned king, or should she extend mercy to her younger son who has been living in exile? The drama began months ago when Prince Joachim's world came crashing down. Royal experts reveal that the prince had been completely blindsided by his mother's decision to strip his children of their royal titles. The announcement hit like a thunderbolt, leaving Prince Joachim feeling betrayed, humiliated, and utterly abandoned by the very family he had served loyally for decades. Sources close to the royal household describe Prince Joachim's reaction as nothing short of devastating. The man who had always stood in his older brother's shadow suddenly found himself pushed even further into darkness. His children, who had grown up with the privilege and responsibility of royal titles, were suddenly stripped of their birthright without warning or consultation. The timing couldn't have been worse. Prince Joachim had already been struggling with his position within the family hierarchy. While his older brother Frederik prepared for kingship, Joachim found himself increasingly sidelined, his military career and diplomatic efforts seemingly overlooked by the Danish media and public. When Queen Margrethe made the shocking announcement about the title changes, she claimed it was for the children's own good. She argued that they would have more freedom to pursue their own paths without the burden of royal expectations. But Prince Joachim saw it differently. To him, this wasn't liberation, it was exile. The fallout was immediate and brutal. Prince Joachim, who had always been the more emotional and outspoken of the two brothers, didn't hold back his feelings. In interviews that shocked the Danish public, he revealed the depth of his pain and betrayal. He spoke about feeling like a stranger in his own family, about his children being punished for something they had no control over. But the real bombshell came when sources revealed that Prince Joachim had been secretly working behind the scenes to reconcile with his family. Despite his public statements and obvious pain, he had been reaching out through intermediaries, trying to find a way back into the family's good graces. The reconciliation attempt was carefully orchestrated. Prince Joachim, showing remarkable humility for a man of his proud nature, had agreed to make significant concessions. He was willing to publicly apologize for his previous statements, accept the title changes for his children, and even relocate back to Denmark to prove his commitment to the family. Royal insiders describe his proposal as comprehensive and heartfelt. Prince Joachim offered to take on more royal duties, to support his brother's reign without question, and to work tirelessly to rebuild the trust that had been broken. He even suggested a public reconciliation ceremony that would send a clear message to the Danish people that the royal family was united once again. For weeks, the proposal circulated through the palace corridors. Queen Margrethe, sources say, was deeply moved by her younger son's gesture. The woman who had made the difficult decision to reform the monarchy for future generations was now faced with the unintended consequence of losing her son entirely. But King Frederik's response was swift and uncompromising. According to palace sources, the new monarch viewed his brother's reconciliation attempt not as genuine remorse, but as a calculated move to regain lost status and privilege. The king, who had spent years preparing for this role, wasn't about to let family drama undermine his authority in the crucial early months of his reign. The rejection was delivered through formal channels, making it all the more painful for Prince Joachim. There would be no emotional confrontation, no heated argument between brothers. Instead, it was a cold, institutional response that made clear where King Frederik stood on the matter. Royal experts suggest that King Frederik's decision wasn't made lightly. The new king understands the importance of family unity, but he also recognizes that his primary duty is to the crown and the Danish people. Allowing Prince Joachim to return without consequences might send the wrong message about accountability and loyalty. The situation becomes even more complex when we consider Queen Margrethe's position. The former queen, who abdicated in favor of her eldest son, now finds herself caught between her natural maternal instincts and her respect for the new king's authority. Sources close to the royal family describe her as heartbroken by the ongoing feud between her sons. Queen Margrethe's dilemma is unprecedented in modern Danish royal history. Never before has a former monarch been placed in such a position, forced to choose between supporting her successor or advocating for her exiled child. Palace insiders reveal that she has been working quietly behind the scenes, trying to find a solution that would satisfy both sons without undermining the monarchy's stability. The former queen's approach has been characteristically thoughtful and measured. She has refused to publicly take sides, instead focusing on the long-term health of the institution she served for over 5 decades. But privately, sources say, she is devastated by the family's division and desperately wants to find a way forward. Meanwhile, Prince Joachim's situation continues to deteriorate. Living abroad with his family, he finds himself increasingly isolated from the Danish royal establishment. His military connections have grown cold, his diplomatic opportunities have dried up, and his financial situation is becoming increasingly precarious without the support systems that come with royal status. The prince's wife and children are also paying the price for this family feud. They've had to adjust to life without royal titles, without the security and opportunities that came with their previous status. Sources close to the family describe them as resilient but understandably confused and hurt by the dramatic change in their circumstances. What makes this situation even more tragic is the genuine affection that once existed between the two brothers. Frederik and Joachim, despite their different personalities, had maintained a close relationship throughout their adult lives. They had supported each other through personal challenges, celebrated each other's successes, and presented a united front during difficult times for the monarchy. That bond now seems irreparably broken. The trust that took decades to build has been shattered in a matter of months, leaving both men isolated in their respective positions. King Frederik bears the burden of his crown and the responsibility for his decision, while Prince Joachim faces an uncertain future with his family in exile. The Danish public has been watching this drama unfold with a mixture of fascination and concern. Many Danes have expressed sympathy for Prince Joachim, viewing him as a victim of circumstances beyond his control. Others support King Frederik's firm stance, arguing that the monarchy needs clear leadership and cannot afford to appear weak or indecisive. Public opinion polls reveal a nation divided. While King Frederik maintains strong approval ratings, there's significant sympathy for Prince Joachim's position. Many Danes remember him fondly from his military service and public appearances, and they're troubled by the family's very public breakdown. The international royal community has been watching these developments with great interest. European monarchies often face similar challenges balancing tradition with modernization, and the Danish situation serves as a cautionary tale about the unintended consequences of royal reforms. Some royal experts argue that Queen Margrethe's original decision to strip the titles was necessary and forward-thinking. They point out that smaller royal families around Europe have faced pressure to streamline their operations and reduce the number of working royals. From this perspective, the pain currently being experienced is the inevitable cost of necessary change. Others, however, question whether the reforms were handled properly. They argue that such significant changes should have been implemented gradually, with extensive family consultation and public preparation. The sudden nature of the announcement, they suggest, created unnecessary trauma and division. As the months pass, the situation shows no signs of resolution. King Frederik appears committed to his position, viewing any compromise as a sign of weakness that could undermine his authority. Prince Joachim, meanwhile, remains in exile, his hopes for reconciliation crushed by his brother's rejection. Queen Margrethe finds herself in an increasingly difficult position. As each day passes without resolution, the family division becomes more entrenched. The longer the feud continues, the harder it becomes to imagine a path back to unity and reconciliation. The former queen's health and age add urgency to the situation. At 84 years old, she doesn't have unlimited time to see her family healed. Sources close to the palace suggest that she's become increasingly frustrated with both sons' stubbornness, but she remains reluctant to force a resolution that might cause even more damage. The impact on the Danish monarchy extends beyond the immediate family. The ongoing drama distracts from King Frederik's important work of establishing himself as monarch and addressing the challenges facing modern Denmark. Instead of focusing on policy initiatives and diplomatic relations, much of the royal coverage centers on family dysfunction. This situation also affects the broader royal household. Palace staff, courtiers, and advisors find themselves caught between competing loyalties. Those who served Prince Joachim loyally for years now face pressure to distance themselves from the exiled prince, while others struggle with the ethical implications of the family's treatment of him. The financial implications are also significant. Prince Joachim's exile means the loss of his contributions to royal duties and public appearances. While this reduces costs, it also means fewer opportunities for the royal family to connect with the Danish people and fulfill their ceremonial obligations. International relations have been affected as well. Prince Joachim's diplomatic experience and language skills made him a valuable asset for Denmark's international engagement. His absence from royal delegations and state visits represents a real loss of expertise and capability. The situation has also created complications for Denmark's relationship with other European royal families. Prince Joachim had developed strong personal relationships with royals across the continent through his military service and diplomatic work. His exile has strained some of these connections and created awkward situations at international royal events. As we look toward the future, several scenarios seem possible. King Frederik might eventually soften his stance, particularly if public pressure mounts or if Queen Margrethe intervenes more forcefully. Alternatively, the current situation might become permanent, with Prince Joachim remaining in exile indefinitely. There's also the possibility that external events might force a reconciliation. A family medical emergency, a national crisis, or international pressure might create circumstances where the brothers have no choice but to set aside their differences and work together. The most heartbreaking scenario is that the feud might continue until it's too late for meaningful reconciliation. Queen Margrethe's advancing age means that time is not on the family's side. The longer the division continues, the more likely it becomes that she might pass away without seeing her sons reunited. Whatever happens, this drama has already changed the Danish royal family forever. The trust and unity that once characterized their relationships has been shattered, replaced by suspicion, resentment, and public scrutiny. Even if reconciliation eventually occurs, the scars from this period will likely remain for years to come. The broader implications for monarchy in the 21st century are also significant. This situation demonstrates how traditional institutions struggle to adapt to modern expectations while maintaining their essential character. The Danish royal family's experience serves as a warning to other monarchies about the challenges of reform and modernization. As the drama continues to unfold, one thing remains clear: this is a human tragedy playing out on the public stage. Behind the titles and protocols are real people dealing with genuine pain, disappointment, and loss. The Danish people, who have traditionally viewed their royal family with affection and pride, now witness a heartbreaking breakdown that touches everyone involved. The question that haunts everyone following this story is whether healing is still possible. Can King Frederik find the wisdom and compassion to look beyond his immediate concerns and see the bigger picture? Can Prince Joachim swallow his pride and accept a reduced role in exchange for family unity? And can Queen Margrethe find a way to bring her sons together before it's too late? Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for the latest updates on this developing story. Hit that like button if you found this coverage insightful, share it with others who follow royal news, and let us know in the comments what you think Queen Margrethe should do next. Will the Danish royal family ever heal from this devastating division, or are King Frederik and Prince Joachim destined to remain forever estranged?